Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Before we start this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie, I want to thank everyone that is new and watching the channel. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because it's good for all things YouTube and Google Analytics and all that kind of crap. So if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate that. All right, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today, we are coming to you from Jameson, Pennsylvania, which is outside of Philadelphia. And I have with me I practiced this. Nayara Andrejczyk.
Perfect.
Close?
That's it. Yes.
Thank you.
Very, very, very close.
Very close. God.
Thank you, Charlie.
I tried practicing. You get the phonetic spelling on your Facebook page. I practiced it.
Yes. It's complicated because I have a Brazilian name and I have a Polish last name. And they're both the phonetics, right. It's not easy to get.
The Zik on the end of it kind of threw me. I'm like,
yes. So for short, my coworkers just call me Nene because they have trouble rolling the R. So I'm Nene at work. And now I just introduce myself as Nene most of the places. Nene. So my name is Nayara. If you can't roll the R, just call me Nene.
Now, rolling the R's is that's a cultural thing because some people can roll the R's, some people can't roll the R's.
Yes.
Can you do the circle with your tongue? Yeah.
Can
you do that?
I don't know. Am I doing it?
Kind of.
Yeah. But there is a difference between rolling the R in Portuguese and rolling the R in Spanish. And I have trouble rolling the R in Spanish. Isn't that crazy? And I speak Spanish.
I barely speak English, so I speak in Spanish.
Oh, that makes two of us.
Somebody asked me if I spoke English, and I said no habla. Or no, if I spoke Spanish, I said no habla inglés, and they're like, yeah, that's not it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I met you last weekend.
I know.
Wasn't
that funny? Like you walked in front of me and said, "Oh, Riding Shotgun with Charlie. What is that?" And then I started watching everything and said, "Oh, yeah, I'm Charlie. Who are you?" And I said, "I'm a nobody." And here I am riding with you. Please. So you came up. We're in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm.
You're obviously not from Massachusetts, but you've been in Pennsylvania for a few years, and you still come up to Massachusetts because you have family and friends there.
Yes.
And you came up to the Gun Owners Action League's Massachusetts gun law seminar on how to be an advocate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which I gotta tell you, I hate complaining about massholes. Mm-hmm. But, oh my gosh, I love complaining about massholes. I mean, here you drove 4 hours, 4 hours, but it's 5 hours by the time we get to Marlboro to go to this. And we have people in Massachusetts that won't drive an hour to go to stuff like this.
Bringing back to the point that we're just talking about, when you grow up in certain areas, you take for granted what you have. Mm. You take for granted what you have. When you're talking about my background in Brazil, we'll talk about that. But, yes. So I got to meet Jim Wallace, one of the guys at
Jay is the executive director.
Yes,
the
the executive.
Action League. Yep.
Yes. So through a guy that he's my instructor, his name is. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh! Wait till he sees this video.
Oh no!
I'll never forget what's his name.
Todd Ellis. So I was taking a few classes. Todd Ellis sits on the board of the NRA, and he lives here in the area, and I was taking a few classes with him. I did a few certifications with him.
Yep.
And I'm just talking about my background and how I would like to get more involved, because I believe the Second Amendment is the second for a reason, right? In order of importance for the American citizen.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Todd Ellis, and he said, "Oh, and I drive to Massachusetts for some reason." Massachusetts came up, and I said, "I drive over there. I shoot competition." I got to meet some wonderful ladies that are doing an amazing job with the Massachusetts women gun owners.
Massachusetts, the Mass Women Gun Owners.
Yes. So I got involved with them, have great friendships with a few of them. And then I started going up to meet with them, to share ideas, to shoot competition. And they said, "Oh, you will be wonderful if you met Jim." I said, "Who is Jim?" And he said, I said, "I'm familiar with Go, but I had never met Jim." So he put us in contact. We spoke over the phone. And I kept going and participating on their events, because I think even though Massachusetts, the Mass Ho, it's so backwards regarding gun laws, I think the people over there, because they are in that position, they are more proactive, they're more active.
We really need to be. When we were just talking to someone at Tanner's, one of the owners, and I don't remember his name because you introduced me to everybody. But I was telling him, you said, "Oh, these are Glocks and you can't buy these." I'm like, "Well, you can't buy them if they're new, but if they're used, then you can buy them." And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yep.
It's ridiculous." So we have all these ridiculous laws, and I call it occupied territory, and what we're in is Pennsylvania here. I call free America.
Yes, this is the real America.
Yes, exactly. So when you live in occupied territory, you have to spend more time being active and fighting against all this nonsense. So,
in fact, we have a lot of, as bad as Massachusetts is, New Jersey is worse.
Oh, absolutely.
It's way worse. So we have, because we're half an hour away from New Jersey, from the New Jersey border, we have tons of customers who are New Jersey residents. They can come to Pennsylvania and buy shotguns and rifles and their background check usually is immediate. They get the approval immediate, of course, if they don't have anything on that criminal history. So if they buy in New Jersey, they have a waiting period. They cannot walk out of the store with their gun. It's easier to come to Pennsylvania and buy here than buy there. Anyway, so when the customers walk in and said, they have to show all the FIT card, all the, present the protocols from New Jersey. I said, "Oh, welcome to the United States of America." And they look at me funny. So that's always a joke in our store. It's another commie.
It's completely nuts. It's nuts.
Anyway,
so I love bitching about New Jersey as well. I'm good friends with some folks and some gun folks from New Jersey and guys that own some gun stores and that are in some of the pro gun groups and whatnot. So let's talk about you.
Okay.
How about you? So you grew up in Brazil?
Yes, I grew up in Brazil.
When did you come to America?
I came to America in the late 90s.
The late 90s.
So I've been in the United States for almost 25 years.
Almost 25 years. Cool.
Have been an American citizen for almost 18 years now.
18 years.
As a citizen. Awesome. I vote.
That's cool.
Yes.
I have a friend that calls it an American by choice.
Yeah. Yes. But is there any other choice?
No, not when you live in free America. I
came to the United States to be an American. I didn't come here to be Brazilian.
Right.
I am Brazilian by birth, but I'm American. I'm an American. Yeah.
I love it.
My soul is American.
Boom!
Yes.
I love it.
There is a reason why I'm here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I love the freedoms. I love everything about America. Not the weather so much. That's one thing I miss about Brazil. The weather. My blood. It's South American. I'm Latina, and I need warm weather.
That's awesome.
Other than that, I'm fully American. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So then, what happened? You move here.
So I moved to Massachusetts because that's where I had already family. It's a long story.
You moved to Worcester.
I moved to Worcester.
Woster.
Yeah.
Worcester.
Worcester.
W-O-S-T.
Worcester. W-O-O-S-T-A-H. Worcester. Yeah. I moved to Worcester.
That's awesome.
I lived in Worcester, Leicester. I lived in Leicester. Right.
Nice.
West of Worcester. For almost 17 years, I was in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
which was good.
Yeah.
I do like Pennsylvania. So when I moved, sorry.
No. So you moved to America. You get married. You end up with a Polish last name.
Yes, not with a Polish
Captain
last
Obvious
name.
here.
Yeah.
Have kids?
I have 2 kids, teenagers. I have my daughter is 17, turning 17 next month, and my son is 14 years old.
Gotcha.
Great kids. I couldn't ask for.
I got to have lunch with my son yesterday, which was great. And
how old is your son?
He's 22.
Okay.
He's 22. He's in his last year of college, and he's got a job lined up and making more money than his father when he gets out, which is the American dream, to have your kids do better than you.
Good.
So unfortunately, I set the standard pretty low. So
Silly.
But yeah, the objective of having kids is not to raise kids to be good kids; it's to raise them to be good adults.
Yes.
And
yes.
So
good citizens of society.
Got it.
Yes, productive citizens of society.
Have a job, work.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So when did you become a gun gal?
So
how does this? Were you a gun gal in Massachusetts, or did it happen after you moved to America?
No, it happened after I moved over here. So
really?
I always had, coming from Brazil, okay, and if you allow me to bore you with some statistics, because I'm going to be speaking to the Republican women of my area. I joined the Republican committee in my area. I want to be more active with what's going on around me. So they asked me to speak. So I've been doing some research. Brazil had a disarmament law in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, 2003, 2005. So government, when they confiscated all the guns, first they made you register the guns. Does it sound familiar to you?
Keep going.
Yes. Register guns. So everybody had to go there and tell what you have, what you don't have, blah, blah, blah. A few years later, they came and knocked on your door and they confiscated all the guns. So a 1.5 to 2 years of peace. Oh, this is wonderful. Crime, we almost eradicated crime. 2 years go by, crimes, skyrocket. In Brazil. And now Brazil, the last statistics, some data show 2022, some data show 2019, 2020. Brazil is number 5 in the world for homicide with a gun. Number 5 in the world. And number 1 for crimes, for gun death in general. That includes suicide, includes a bunch of things. So number 1 in the world for death by firearms, and number 5 of homicides. Wow. What does it tell you? So when I think of that and I see United States just being completely oblivious and naive about what guns represent in a society. Yeah. So it makes me sad, and I think I need to do something about it. So
Evan Knappen, who's someone I had on the show, he's an attorney in New Jersey and in New Hampshire. Okay. He has this thing. He's got a podcast called the Gun Lawyer Podcast, which is a great show. But he has this thing. He says legislation leads to registration. Registration leads to confiscation. Confiscation leads to extermination.
Yes. Haven't you read history books? Right?
Right. I don't get. Yeah. It's beyond me that the. Even if you're not a gun person, I call them a gun agnostic, right? Because they're not for it and they're not against it, which is kind of how I grew up. Even the gun agnostics ought to see this, and they shouldn't stop people from doing what they want to do in their pursuit of happiness.
Yes. Yes. What I tell my customers, and I deal with sales as well, I always, with conversations, we have a great relationship with our customers, whether you're a first-time customer or you show up every single day at 10 o'clock when the door is open, like the guy you just met, Mark.
Right.
Mark is great. He's there 10 o'clock sharp every single day to see what's the deal, what's new. So it doesn't matter. We always tell our customers, you don't have to love guns. You don't have to be a gun nut like I am. You don't have to own a gun, but education, you have to have some education. You have to be educated about guns.
Even if you're not,
you need to understand.
You don't have to exercise it, but
exactly. You need to have some basic knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin.
Hello.
So anyway, I moved to Massachusetts, and I was always fascinated with guns.
Mm-hmm.
I am the oldest of 3 girls. I am the boy that my dad never had.
Oh.
So everything crazy and tomboy,
Yeah.
I was involved, and I was fascinated by cars, motorcycles, guns, but never had a gun. I had a moped at 11.
At 11?
11. Yes, and I would ride my moped
Oh
to
my
school.
God.
I was the badass moped rider at school at 11, 12.
That is a sentence no one has ever said.
Yes.
I was a badass moped rider.
Moped rider, 11 years old, riding to school, pulling out
Oh
on
my
my
gosh.
moped.
That's too funny.
While my friends, being dropped off by their chauffeur.
Right.
I went to a rich kid school, so but I wasn't the rich kids. I had my moped. So I was fascinated by firearms, have always been.
Mhm.
So I moved to Massachusetts. I said, oh, United States, freedom. Now I can own a firearm. But I got married. I had 2 little kids in the house. And I did some research online. The closest certified instructor, certified by the state of Massachusetts, that's going to give you the certificate to go get your license to carry. You was probably about an hour away from me. I was living in Leicester at the time.
When was this?
2005?
2005. Okay.
2005?
I didn't become an instructor until 2007.
Okay.
And I'm like 3 towns over from Leicester.
Huh. I didn't know too many people, and I didn't know how to get into the gun. I didn't know where even to start. Where do I start?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll go back. But one thing that upsets me when I got here. No, let me go back.
Yeah.
We're having an ADD moment here. And by the way, look what I brought you.
Oh my gosh.
I brought you ibuprofen because I love talking. And by the time you drop me off, you're gonna have a headache. So I know you're gonna have a headache. I brought you some ibuprofen.
I actually think I have. Oh, you know what? I have my own.
Oh, my bottle is bigger. So I didn't know where to start, and I had 2 little kids at home. I was a stay-at-home mom living on 1 income.
Yeah.
I checked the fees. I said, okay, I need to spend this for a class, I need to spend this for applying for the permit, blah blah blah. And I kept putting off because of time and money and my circumstances.
Kids, absolutely. Absolutely. I figured out ballpark, if you want, in Massachusetts, if you wanted to get your license to carry, it's easy to spend $800. Right, between taking a class for $100, $125, $100 for your license. Then you have to buy a gun. Then you have to buy all your safety gear. Then you have to join we don't have public ranges. There's a few places that are public ranges, but
membership.
Yeah, you have to join a sportsman's club or a rod.
It's costly.
It's
costly.
It adds up
very quickly. So all those things I kept putting off and putting off again, living on 1 income. My husband was the only one working. I'm home, being a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling my kids. So everything just, this is too much. I'll take care of this later. So we end up in Pennsylvania 8 years ago now. So very first thing, I checked the laws. I said, oh, can you walk in the sheriff's office with an application, $20, and walk out with I'm doing this right now. So I did. As soon as we moved to Pennsylvania, I transferred my driver's license and I went to the sheriff's office.
Boom.
I said, boom, license to carry. But I didn't do anything. I was, I need to get familiar, acquainted with the area. I need to find
a gun
the
store.
people, who is going to lead me to a good instructor. So I put off for a little while, and one day I was at church, and a friend of ours a guy came. So how are you guys doing? How are you adapting? Do you like Pennsylvania? Blah, blah, blah. I said, yes. What did you do? So I don't know how conversation came up, and I said, yeah, I have my license to carry. He said, oh, do you own guns? And his eyes just brightened up. I said, not yet. I got my license to carry, but I don't know where to start.
Right.
I shot once before. It's been a while in Massachusetts, but no, I would love to get into it. It's on my list of things to do sooner than later. So he said, all right, I'll take you out to the shooting range. Let's schedule a date. We're going to have the whole day for ourselves. I'm going to reserve a bay over there.
Wow.
I'll bring all my firearms. I said, deal. So he brought it. We made a day at the range. The range, by the way, it's gorgeous. It's right in the country side of Pennsylvania, all green. Such a relaxed atmosphere. I became a member the same week. I became a member. I've been a member there. Now I'm their official female instructor. I'm involved with the NRA in that area, which is an hour and a half away from my house. So, but anyway, I shot all kinds of firearms.
We want to avoid the toll bridge to Jersey, right?
Yes, we do. Okay. Yes, we do.
We want to be super careful.
Oh my goodness, I was going to mention that.
I'm not saying anything, but I am going to speak in code. We do not want to go to New Jersey
No, we
today.
don't, and that's that way over there. We don't want to go that way.
All right.
Once you cross in New Jersey, I have hollow points here. I have high-capacity magazines. I have all kinds of stuff that New Jersey doesn't like, and we don't want to become felons.
We do not.
Not today.
Not today.
Isn't that ridiculous? That is so pathetic.
It is completely ridiculous.
Anyway. Yeah.
So you went to the range, you joined the range. How long were you involved with shooting before you became an instructor?
So here's the thing, the trail. I fell in love. I took those shots. Have you seen the show, the NRA show, Love at First Shot? It's a female thing. They did years ago, and you know a lot of the people who were shooting and doing the video. I bet.
Gotcha.
We'll mention names. So Love at First Shot.
I thought about coming up with a dating app. No. Hear me out. A dating app for single people that are gun owners, and I was going to call it "Give It a Shot."
That is awesome.
Isn't that a great idea? Give it a shot.
You
can talk about your favorite caliber, your favorite carry gun.
Okay. After we finish this, after we finish the ride, we need to. I'm on it. Let's do it.
Let's do
that
it.
Is awesome. What a great idea. So I fell in love with shooting. I said, I found what was missing in my life, and this is it. I absolutely loved shooting, and I shot revolvers, AR-15 and 22, 5.56 .223, semi-automatic pistols, and 9mm 45. I said, oh my goodness, I'm in love. I want to do this.
That is so
cool.
This
is it. So the same weekend, I went to a gun store in Philadelphia and bought my first firearm. It was a Smith & Wesson Victory 22. I don't know why
cool.
that.
Like a target pistol?
Target pistol. Nice. I don't love that pistol, but
it's a good starter gun.
It's a good starter. It's a good gun. It's a good gun, no doubt.
Yeah.
I have
22's not a lot of recoil, and it's, I did this with a couple friends, of course. You take them to the range, you give them your 357 and some 38 ammo.
Okay.
And then you slide a 357 near the 38s, and then just keep it on talking and loading, and they,
that is
boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what was that? That was a 357.
I hope you don't do that to your students.
No, gosh.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No. My friends,
traumatize them for life.
My friends, absolutely. Students, no. I'm strictly professional. Anyway.
So I went on to taking every lesson that I could, every training I could, and the first one was NRA basic firearm, and then I took the NRA instructor firearms course, and then I went on to going all the shooting ranges in my area and getting recommendation for people who are reliable. I Googled, I said, women in my area who shoot guns, or something crazy like that. And then a girl in a gun popped up.
Nice.
Yes, a girl in a gun popped up, and I immediately, membership. Where do these people meet? So I found the shooting range, which is like 15 minutes away from my house. I just showed up and I said, hi, my name is Nayara. I'm here. I'm new to guns and fairly new to guns. I've been taking some lessons, but I want to shoot with you guys. Oh, great. And we became friends, and then we will shoot for an hour or two, go out for drinks and food.
Nice.
Great group of people. Great group of
That's
people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've had Robin on the show. I'm good friends
Yes,
with Robin.
I've watched
She's
her
awesome.
show. Yes.
I love that. And I've also had Sandra Zedemoyer on the show. She is a local
Yes.
gal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know who she is. I've never met her in person. I know who she is. Ronnie.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Ronnie Siegel, yeah.
Yes,
she's
Ronnie Siegel. She's a lot of fun.
Oh, she is a riot. In fact, Ronnie and I went down to Glock in Atlanta, Georgia, in Smyrna, Georgia.
Yeah.
And we did the 3-day training. We became a Glock armorer and Glock operator through the Girl in a Gun. So we're sponsored by the Girl in a Gun. We went together. That's where I met Ronnie at Glock.
That is way cool.
Yeah. So that was
That
awesome.
is-
She's a firecracker. She's 7 years old, and she shames me on the level of energy, and I have a lot of energy, as you can tell.
Yes. This is pretty here, I gotta tell you.
It's pretty. This is a beautiful area.
This is.
But again, we are not too far from New Jersey.
Ooh.
See the New Jersey license plates?
Oh, they're all over.
Every single one of them. Yeah. So we're right on the border.
All right, we have to turn around at some point.
Yes,
so
we
you
do.
not.
Yes, we do.
All right, so you're an instructor. You're
Mhm.
going to ranges. You're looking for female clients. You
Well,
got a girl and a gun,
I do and I don't. It's whoever comes to me.
right?
And here's the thing. So I became so passionate about shooting that I started spending a lot of money, way more than I could afford. So my husband said, you know what? We can't afford this. I love that you have a hobby. I love that you have a passion, but
Right.
this is going to take us to the poorhouse. We can't afford this. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to my favorite store, which is Tanner's, where I work now.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Tanner's and I'm going to ask for a job. So I did. I walked in and I said, Chris, which is the manager.
Yeah.
I said, Chris, let me ask you a question. So I come here, I've been coming here for a year or two, and behind the counter, there are 8 to 10 guys. I said, have you ever?
I was kind of shocked at how many people there were.
Yes, and today's
There's a lot
Friday.
of people.
On Saturday, it's even more. We have even more sales guys.
Sales folks, yeah.
Sales folks. It's a busy store. We're number one in the state of Pennsylvania for gun sales.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
it's impressive.
It's not that big of a shop, like
No,
geographically, you know.
yeah,
But you guys have a boatload of guns there.
huge volume.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yes.
That is way cool.
So I walked in and I said, you know, I never saw a girl here. Do you have any women working for you? I said,
Mhm.
no, but we're considering because it's a growing demographic. Why? Do you want a
Yeah.
job? I said, oh, heck yes. Give me an application. So
Right.
I applied. I said, Chris, I don't know the ins and outs. If you ask me what's the difference between that gun and this gun,
Mhm.
I don't know if I can tell you.
Right.
He said, well, we usually don't do this, but you're one of the first females come to us. So I think we're willing to try. I said, let's do this before we seal the deal.
Mhm.
Let me come. And he come to me and he said, well, one of the main things here is you cannot BS our customers. They know their stuff.
Mm.
You need to know guns. You need to know firearms. You need to know handguns, rifles, shotguns. You need to know a little bit about hunting. You need to know all that stuff. We cannot BS our customers. They're very knowledgeable.
Right.
I said, okay, I understand that. But I'm also not afraid to say, I don't know anything about this. Let me go get my coworker and he'll
Mhm.
explain to you.
Gotcha.
But then he said, and the second thing he asked me, how thick is your skin? Because you're going to be working with a bunch of guys and I'm tough. I said,
Right.
well, let's do this. Before we seal the deal, I tell you that I have a pretty thick skin. And if you know my mom, you understand what I'm talking about. If you met my mom. But I have a tough skin. But let's do this. I will do a tryout with you. I will come and volunteer my time
Mhm.
in the store for a few hours here and there, a few times a week. And then I get a feel for what it is to sell guns here. And you get a feel for me. And, you know, you
See
tell me
what's
if I'm cut for the job.
Right.
I said, okay. So I started doing that. I did for about 3 weeks, showing up, working an hour here, 2 hours there,
Yeah.
telling the guys, can you explain to me, why is this? Why not this gun? Why you recommend this gun, not that gun? What's the difference between this and that? And they were very kind, very patient with me, but I see like, she's not gonna last. She's gonna be out of here probably 2 weeks. I could hear that. But they're patient. They're patient. I think the manager said, you know, let's see what happens. I worked there for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Left for a year to work in another gun shop in the city, which was a great experience too, a good learning experience. But then I just came back 2 months ago to work back at Tanner's.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. I became an instructor.
Uh-huh.
I didn't grow up as a gun guy. I become a gun guy until after I had kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that, you know, guns were something we needed and so on and so forth. And then after a couple of years, you know, very, very similar, married guy, one income. My wife was home with the kids. Kids were going to school and stuff. I was working a lot and I wanted to spend more money on gun stuff. Buying some guns. So I'm like, I like teaching and maybe I should become a gun instructor to
Offset the cost.
to support my shooting habit.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Exactly what I
That
did.
was exactly what I did. Said, this is a habit. I'm passionate. I want to learn more. I want to take classes. They're not cheap. You take a 2-day class, it's $750. You're gonna pay at least $550 here in the area for a 2-day class, a good class, reliable with people that you can trust.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap. Besides, 800 to 1,000 rounds of ammo, and yeah.
Yeah, it's an expensive
It is.
hobby,
It is.
for sure.
So I started working at Tanner's, and here I am 5 years later.
5 years.
5 years now, yes.
That is awesome.
5 years. I worked 3.5 years, left for a year, and yeah, for about 4 something.
That is really cool.
Timelines. Really bad with that. So yeah, but as I'm getting into learning, and I said, why don't every American take advantage of this? Again, you don't have to be crazy about it, but it's your right. Oh, another thing that I decided when I got into guns really serious, and I said I would never be a closet gun owner. I want everybody to know me. As soon as they get to meet me, they will know that I'm a gun person and I support the Second Amendment. So one thing that upset me was that when I moved to Pennsylvania, and then I started posting stuff on social media and talking about guns and working at a gun store, I went back to Massachusetts, and my friends, I realized that most of my friends, I would say about 80% of them, owned guns, had taken courses, had their licenses to carry, and never mentioned a word.
Really?
It was so upsetting. I was so disappointed. I said, guys, I've been thinking about getting guns and looking for people who can guide me, and nobody ever said a word. Everybody's a gun closet, gun owner closet.
Closet gun owners.
Closet gun owners.
It's completely ridiculous. I've certainly had friends that I've lost because they're not educated. The education has nothing to do with it. They'll sit here. I don't want to talk about the political persuasion, but they'll sit here and talk about how you should accept everybody and love everybody, and then you tell them that you like to go shooting and you carry guns and knives, and they're like, "Whoa!" And then they break out in hives.
Yes.
Because how dare you? How could you be a fill in the blank? How could you be a murderer? You're supporting this. You're supporting that. I'm not. I had one friend actually told me, she's like, Charlie, I knew you before you were a gun guy. And I know you're not like one of those Duck Dynasty guys. I'm like, really?
Look at me,
really?
all in camo,
She's like, so we know. And of course they do this in a whisper, like, we know not all gun people are bad people because we knew you before you owned guns.
That is so ridiculous.
Like,
so the stereotype, there is a stereotype that people have, of gun owners. And like a good friend of mine said, somebody came to her and said, what do gun owners look like? And she said, look around. See that mom with a stroll over there? She could be carrying right now. Look at grandma. Grandma may have a 38 in her waist right now in her purse.
Yeah.
Not that I recommend, but
hold on. Recommend a 38 or carrying in a purse?
Both.
All right, you might need to
I'm not a snub-nosed person. No? I'm not a revolver person. Even though it has, I know, reliability, blah, blah, blah. It's simpler
blah, blah, blah.
to operate, but it's 5 rounds. I'm all about capacity. The bigger, the better. And that's where Massachusetts drives me crazy.
Right. This is where I will completely... Joe, I will certainly make fun of FUDs, but I am a FUD in that I carry a 5-shot J-frame. That's my carry gun. Ooh. Yeah. Now, this is the ridiculousness that is my life and the way I think about things. I'm thinking of joining the dark side. I'm thinking of starting to carry a bottom feeder.
A bottom feeder?
A bottom feeder.
What's
a semi-auto.
Oh,
you feed it from the bottom, right? Like a bottom feeder's a bottom feeder's term. Yeah, it's a bottom feeder's a fish that eats everything off the bottom of the ocean because they're lazy. Right? Yes.
Yeah, since I am the Gun Evangelist, I will convert you to that.
You'll convert me.
Yes.
All right. Well, the reason I want to do this, I'm thinking of going back to wearing cowboy boots, and I won't be able to carry a revolver on my ankles, so I need to. Like, I need to find... Yeah, I know. I used to wear cowboy boots when I played.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I need to get me some cowboy boots because I have a few rigs, leather rigs. I need to get 2. It's on my list.
Right.
I keep adding stuff to my list and dropping some items to the bottom. And one of them is a pair of Ruger Vaquero because I have a rig. I got the rig. Now I need the guns for the rig.
I got a holster now.
Yes,
I gotta buy the
that's
gun.
right. That's right. Any
Oh my
excuse.
God,
Any
that's
excuse.
That's
Whichever
awesome.
order you want to do things.
That's awesome.
So I have, and I need to get a pair of cowboy boots. I have tons of boots, but not a cowboy leather, like southern cowboy boots.
Yeah, I used to wear cowboy boots all the time. That was all I
Yeah.
wore. But I was,
That's awesome. I like it.
I was a guy, I taught music in public schools.
Mm-hmm.
I played in a Motown disco funk band. I listened to country music and ska music, and I wore cowboy boots.
Pretty
So
classic.
I was ADD before ADD was cool.
That's what I am right now. In fact, I was just diagnosed with ADD by my boss. He calls me ping pong nay. He said, why can't you stick to a task? At the end of the day, everything gets done. But in between, I bounce back and forth between tasks. They said, I think you have ADHD. Have you ever been diagnosed? I said, not officially, but now, it makes sense.
You know what? I can't focus on taking the test. I can't. It's really bad. I'm taking a digital marketing course, and everything is online, and I can't sit there and focus to do homework.
Yeah, no.
I can't.
I need interaction. I cannot do anything online.
Yeah, I sit there. I sit there. I do all the classes. All the classes are on Zoom, and I sit there with my SIR pistol. And when I can't take it, I'm like, I pull the gun out, I point it across the room, work on my sight alignment, trigger squeeze.
There we go. Multitasking.
I know.
See?
Right? I know.
Multitasking.
Oh my gosh.
You just mentioned something interesting. You said, your friends, we don't talk about those things, politics. I was just thinking about this the other day, talking to a friend. Politics. So we were told, right, in Brazil and even here, and here too, we don't talk about sports team, religion, and politics. So my response to that is, okay, what else is out there to talk about? Not only that, but politics and religion it's weaved into, the fabric of our being. There is no way to avoid politics and religion.
Sure.
You can avoid, but it's still there.
Right.
It's still there. Things that you have to deal with it in your personal life. So because we're told, don't talk politics. We don't want to be political. Well, heck yeah, I am political in everything that I say and do. And because we took that polite and quiet view of things, now the other side are really aggressive on the politics, and here we're just, we don't want to talk politics,
right?
Because we're super polite and we want to avoid controversy in those topics. In the meantime, the other side is working hard. They're very active on everything, and that's why us conservatives and gun owners and the 2A community, it's so in disadvantage.
It is. I think it definitely is.
Yeah.
I think it definitely
We're
is.
always behind the curve. Always behind the curve.
Yeah, I do think as a conservative guy, or as a relatively, I call myself a small C conservative, but I'm certainly lean a little bit more towards libertarian the more I become a gun guy.
Me too.
My attitude is this: I don't. If people smoke marijuana, it's none of my business. I'm not interested in it. And that's their business, and let them do what they want to do, right? As long as they're not forcing it on me, I don't care. It's none of my business.
But then they're nailed federally in owning firearms.
Right. Exactly.
For now.
Exactly. So I do think it's a little contradictory, but I want to let people be and let them do what they want to do. Whatever makes them happy, whatever makes them happy, and let them do it. And whatever makes me happy, let me do it. Right, Sheryl Crow. If it makes you happy, then do it and rock on and don't force it on me and don't force it on other people.
Yeah, but the other side doesn't see that way.
Right.
It's my way or the highway.
Right.
And because I don't like guns, I don't want anybody having guns. And that bothers me.
It's not that I don't want the Republicans to grow up a pair of balls. I really want them to grow a spine.
Yes.
Speaking
of pair of balls, who has the biggest balls that I've ever seen?
Hillary Clinton?
No. No. And this is in a good sense. Lauren Boebert. You need to interview her.
I would love to get
the congresswoman for Colorado.
Yeah.
She's a 5 foot tall biggest balls in DC. I think.
Oh my gosh! So she used to own the Shooters Cafe in Rifle, Colorado. And
really?
Yes, and a few years ago. Yeah, that's
prophetic.
I know, right? A few years ago, I was having breakfast with my then girlfriend, and I said I wanted to go out and interview her because I saw some news story about her, and everyone open carries at this restaurant, and the waitress is open carry, and it's Colorado. So my girlfriend, she was like, we have a long weekend. Let's drive to Colorado. I'm like, I don't really know if it works that way. She's like, no, we got like 4 days. I'm like, I don't think we can drive to Colorado and back just to go have breakfast.
Wow.
So that would have been very cool.
That would be cool. I drive for food. Sometimes I drive from Massachusetts for food.
It's a long way to drive.
Yeah. Well, 4 hours. You can go and come back in the same day. I bet you're going to be doing this.
Yeah, I'm going to be going home. I got a class.
See?
It's worth.
See? I drive for food. I like food.
All right, tell us about the Gun Evangelist.
So,
how did you get this moniker?
Because everywhere I go, I am committed not to hide who I am and what I like. Whether it's religion, politics, guns, whatever. So if you know Nayara, you know what I stand for. In very few minutes, you know who I am. So I go everywhere and I talk about guns. And I always bring up the topics, and I always bring up politics, and I always bring up religion. So the first suggestion was my husband. He said, you look like an evangelist. You want to convert everybody to your side? I said, oh yeah, absolutely. If I believe in something, yeah, I would try to convince people of it. If I think it's a good thing, yeah. So, and then a few friends mentioned the same thing. Oh, you know, the power of persuasion. You're always trying to persuade people into your view. Could be a good thing, bad thing. But in this case, yes, I do. I believe.
I think it's great. I think we need more people like you to convert other people from being a gun agnostic to being pro-gun.
Yeah, or maybe not even pro-gun. I won't go that far. I don't want to make advocates. Well, I do, but not necessarily. Just leave us alone.
Yeah,
just leave us alone. Yeah, just don't put a roadblock for us. Let us do what we want to do.
As long as we're not harming anyone.
Yes, absolutely. So I was at work during the pandemic. You met Kevin. I said, this is my agent, and there is a reason why. So I'm at work, and pandemic hit. Yeah. We were deemed essential business. So
that's cool.
We were just
Massachusetts. They were not essential business.
Oh, we were essential business here. We were just shut for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of COVID, and after that, everything opened up, and we're back to work selling guns because it's the Second Amendment, and to protect the First Amendment, you need the Second, and it's like all intertwined. There is a reason why we're being subject to COVID restrictions. Let's exercise our First and Second Amendment on this issue. So I'm at work, and we have a line around the building, around the block, hundreds of people outside trying. Isn't that interesting? Because people who never thought in their lives that they would see a gun up close, never mind hold one, they were there now buying guns.
Right.
First time buyers flooded our store.
Yeah.
We ran out of guns to sell, and we would have 20 guns a day. Now we have probably 500 to close to 1,000 in the display case only. We ran out of guns, and most of the people who came to the store were first-time buyers because they understood that when things hit the fan, right, a gun is the only thing that is going to safeguard your family, your property, your food, everything. So they understood that.
That's cool.
So we had all these new gun owners buying all kinds of fire, whatever they could get their hands on.
Yeah.
And then my coworker said, Dane, aren't you certified? You have multiple certifications, you're trained. These people are here asking, what do they do next? They're buying a gun and they never touched a gun before. They never saw a gun.
Right.
Where are they going to go for training? You need to train these people. You need your girl, go print your card and then put it over here and we're going to give it away. So that's how it started.
That's awesome.
That's how it started. And everybody who came to the door said, people terrified. Their eyes, they're shaking. They don't know what to do. I've never been to a gun store in my life. This is my first firearm.
Yeah.
What do I do? How do I? My coworkers are so kind. They take the time, whatever time is necessary. Of course, they want to sell, but they also want to educate people.
Sure. I mean,
that's one thing that I love about working at Tanner's.
Yeah.
They educate people.
You want to have educated consumers, you know. You want people to come in and know what they're looking for, so that they don't go home and hurt themselves or hurt someone else.
We don't want to. We're not jerks, and you know, people walk through the door, they put the finger on the trigger. We kindly ask, okay, let's follow the safety rules. So finger off the trigger. You only put your finger on the trigger when you're ready to shoot, and you're definitely not ready to shoot here in the store. Keep your finger off the trigger. You point in a safe direction. Somebody walks by behind the counter. You put the gun down. And we just educate them. We show how to load, how to unload. So the other day, a couple comes in and they said, oh, this is our first gun and we don't know anything. Would you recommend somebody? My coworker took the time. He went through almost my whole class, my whole hour of safety. He did at the counter. I said, Ed, you gonna leave anything for me?
Some people are trying to make some money here.
Yes. Seriously. And then he had to step away and the other guy took over and did the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
And he spent his time. And I think this is amazing. This is amazing. I said, that's what we want. We want happy customers. We want people to be educated. It's not just about the sales. Yeah. It's about instructing people and getting them on our side of the Second Amendment and realize the importance of firearms.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost back to where we need to be. How can people find you and follow you and all the stuff that you're doing? And how do they find your biz?
I'm such a slacker. I should have a website, but I don't. For a few reasons.
You do have a pretty hopping Instagram, I got to tell you.
Yeah, I have an Instagram account. You can find me at... Can you post the link? Because
of course,
saying Nayara Andrejczyk will be hard for people to. Oh yeah, I know how to type in.
Right, I will definitely put a link. One of my friends is like, "Dude, so you're gonna go interview this chick? Have you looked at her Instagram? Did you see her in the hot leather pants?" I'm like, "Yes, I did."
There was a fun thing I did for a friend who is a photographer, cinematographer.
Yeah.
And he loves guns. We both drive Mustangs. So he said, I would love to take some shots of you with our Mustangs on the background and guns and some MP5s. I said, ooh, let's do it. Yes. I usually don't say no. So that was awesome. It was awesome. And he's a customer as well. Became a good friend. But yes, Instagram account. You can find me on Facebook. Usually Instagram, it's easier and quicker. I do not accept everybody on Facebook because I post some personal things. I post more about family.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm a little hesitant. Unless we have a lot in common or we have friends in common, I will add you on Facebook. But Instagram would be a good one.
Instagram, okay.
And the reason why I don't have a website is because I'm still trying to figure out my path on either do I invest more time in instruction? Do I take the legislative side, the advocacy side more seriously? So I'm still navigating through those things.
Gotcha.
I am becoming active in my...
do you know Kelly Pigeon?
Yes.
Right.
So actually, I haven't met her in person. I follow her. We've exchanged a few messages.
Nice.
But now that I was in Massachusetts, Carrie Ann said she was going to put me in touch. Yes, with Kelly Pigeon, because she's here in Pennsylvania, but she's on the other side. Actually, it takes me longer to drive to Cali than it takes me to drive to Massachusetts.
Right,
she's 5 hours away. Massachusetts 4 hours away for Central Mass. Gotcha. But I want to meet her in person, and I want to talk about that. And DC Project, she's
the DC Project.
Yes,
in Pennsylvania. You would be an amazing person to be in the DC Project.
So I'm
at the state level.
Absolutely. I am thinking about that to be the East Pennsylvania. So there's a lot that I need to.
There's a lot. There's a lot, and you do have to. I hate saying you have to limit yourself, but you only have so much time and energy and attention.
Tell me about it.
It's really
seriously. I wish I could clone myself, but other people wouldn't appreciate that.
I know. I wish I could clone myself to do all the work so I could take a nap. That's what I would.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. We didn't get a chance to talk about you and your podcasting producing, right?
I did that, yes, but it had nothing to do with guns.
Yep.
I did podcast producing for a Christian nonprofit institution. It's called Gun Good Lord.
Whoops.
Reformation 21. So I worked for these people. Their headquarters is here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I was asked to be the producer of 2 shows. One is called Mortification of Spin, and the other one is Theology on the Go. They're both Protestant, Reformed Protestant shows.
Gotcha.
So I did that for 5 years part-time.
That's cool.
4 to 5 years part-time. Another job that I absolutely loved.
That's
Got
awesome.
to meet a lot of people, book authors, professors, people from all over the world I had interaction with. Yeah.
Very cool.
Podcast producing stuff.
You are you're a firecracker, man. Like
I have a gift of wearing people out.
I could take some of those ads. No, I'm kidding. I tell people all I try to do is keep up. Keep up with my friends in the gun community, and you're someone that I need to keep up with as well.
All right.
All right, listen, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. This was a pleasure. It was such a nice ride.
It's my
one thing that I couldn't do, I said, I am a control freak. So having somebody driving for me is not natural. I want to be on the driver's seat.
I'm glad you didn't have any motion sickness.
Thank God. But I brought my pipe. I said, maybe I will relax. I'll kick back, relax and smoke my pipe.
Oh my God.
I didn't want the windows down because it's windy and it's a little cold.
It's windy and chilly.
And you said, I don't know, have you smoked in the coach?
I have not smoked in the stagecoach.
Okay, I didn't want to push.
No, it's not that I'm against it.
But this was fun.
This is cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on. Plug Tanner's. Talk about Tanner's.
Yes. Tanner's is amazing. I love the store. I love my coworkers. My coworkers is such a good team of guys. Again, I work with 8 to 10 guys all the time. We're #1 sales in the state of Pennsylvania. Our gun broker department, if you don't know what gun broker is like eBay of guns. We are on the top. Peter said 30.
Yeah, the top
25,
30. 26 is what he said.
Yes, on the top. Yeah, number
awesome.
26 in the whole country for the past 5 to 8 years.
That's awesome.
So every kind of firearm you can think of goes through Peter's hands. He is a wizard. He knows everything about everything. It's impressive.
That's incredible.
I don't know how he can store so much knowledge in his mind of era, firearms from all over the world. World War I to Civil War era, Vietnam, you name it. You name it.
That's really cool.
So he has a very extended knowledge, and Tanner's has a huge selection. The best customer service I can guarantee you.
Nice.
You're gonna get at Tanner's.
All right. Well, what's the website? We'll put a link to it.
Tanner's is sportscenter.net. TannerSportsCenter.net. We now sell online, but we don't. We ship out in the country. If you purchase online, you have to pick up in store, but you can purchase over the phone, and we'll ship to an FFL dealer anywhere in the country, in the United States.
Very cool. Awesome. We'll put a link for that.
All right.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Stick around. Let me close things out. We want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. If you are not a member of the Second Amendment Foundation, you can become a lifetime member for a whopping $150. I'm going to put a special link below. I think Adam Kraut gave me a link that I can use and give to my people. So if you're not a Second Amendment member of the Second Amendment Foundation, please do that. You can check out all of your pro-freedom podcasts in one place at sdrn.us. That's the Self-Defense Radio Network. It's all your favorite pro-freedom podcasts in one place. And thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it this far, then you need to be sharing the show with some other people. This is how we get the stagecoach across America. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. This was great.